Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, I can hear you.
No worries. Mr. Cyber, can you start your camera, please?
Yes, Judge, but I am not dressed appropriately.
We're on the record in the matter of Edgewood Villas LDHA versus Deborah Bentley and Nicholas Sasser, file number 20-01399 LTE. Counsel appearance, please.
Tom Siver on behalf of the plaintiff.
Good morning, Your Honor. Christina Corcoran appearing on behalf of the defendants.
Thank you. This was the date that was scheduled for a bench trial. The court has received a conditional dismissal in order. Before we address that, though, I do want to address that the court did receive a phone call, a very interesting one to say the least, Mr. Cyber, from one of your witnesses. They were concerned, wondering why this case was dismissed and why the court would allow the defendant to have 30 days to vacate the property. That witness shared that you indicated to them that the court dropped the ball on this matter, that there is a new judge who doesn't know what she's doing.
Nope.
And so that is why this case was dismissed. And
No,
so I
Judge.
found that to be extremely interesting, very colorful to say the least, as my recollection in the court record will reflect. You've missed court more than one time on this file. So if anyone didn't know what they were doing, it wasn't the judge, Mr.
Let me explain what's happened. This is Miss Perez that called my office the other night and railed me out about why it's taking so long to get this through and why we're giving her 30 days, and that she looked at the conditional dismissal, and because we sent it out to all the witnesses that were subpoenaed saying, hey, we've settled this. She was not pleased with us for taking until April 15th. She was pretty adamant that I had not done my job, even though I had gotten it approved by the regional manager. And she said, what's going on in the court? And I said, we do have a new judge. The case did get reopened, and it's taken some time. I said, we're in the middle of a pandemic. So that's what was said to her. And I know that she was not happy, and she did disconnect the phone on me. And my wife and my daughter were sitting here in the office. It was about 6:30 at night.
I don't know what your response that we have a new judge has to do with anything as it relates to this case. Again, this is a case where you've dropped the ball on multiple occasions, okay? The judge in the court has not dropped the ball on this case, not a single time.
I never said the court did.
Okay, well, even the mere implication that the reason that this case was still pending had anything to do with the court is improper. This is the case that I almost had to find you in contempt on. Did you share that portion? When you mention my name to anyone, and as it relates to Judge Simmons, I don't ever want to hear back that you have made a disparaging remark regarding me and my oversight over my cases. Do you understand that?
That's understood, Judge, but I did not make any disparaging remarks about you. I would never do that. I will tell the court I found it extremely troubling, and whenever I missed the first hearing, because the notice was sent by the court to a Florida appeal box, and that is a retired attorney. That is not my father. It was not the address that was on the pleading.
That issue has been resolved, and we've addressed that at length. We will not travel down that rabbit hole. There's a reason why that was sent to that address. The judge had nothing to do with that. It had nothing to do with the fact there was a new judge on the bench. Again, the mere implication that the reason why this case is resulting in a stipulated dismissal has anything to do with the judge is disgusting.
She just wanted to know why it took so long, Judge.
It had nothing to do with the judge. Maybe you should share that. I missed court a couple times, and so that tied up the case. Did you mention that part? You did not.
No,
So
Judge.
once again, Like, you're free to tell whatever colorful stories regarding
It's
your
not a
representation
colorful
of your
story,
clients
Judge.
as you wish, but what you won't do is you won't disparage the court and you won't
I would
disparage my
not.
name in the
I would never
process.
do that.
And I
just-
will not have your witnesses contacting the court concerned about statements that you've made to them.
I haven't made statements like that.
Do we need to get your witness on the phone?
No.
Okay. With that being said, I do have a conditional dismissal here. States here the defendants will vacate on April 15, 2020. Plaintiff agrees to provide a neutral reference in response to any inquiries. Should the defendant default on the terms of this agreement, plaintiff will submit an affidavit of default or an order for reinstatement of the case and an order of eviction, which will enter simultaneously. Should plaintiff default on the terms of the agreement, defendant will file a motion to compel along with the request for sanctions. This order resolves all factual issues that were brought or could have been brought by either party under this suit as to the rent inhabitability, with the exception of enforcement of this settlement. This shall be considered a final order of the court, and the honorable court shall retain jurisdiction of this matter for the enforcement of the terms contained herein. This was signed by you, Mr. Cyber, as well as you, Ms. Corcoran. The court had no party in negotiating this agreement, nor did the court have any party or concern and interest in facilitating a dismissal by the parties. The court was prepared to move forward with a trial today. And so I wanted to put that on the record after getting, this is the second concerning call that I've gotten in the last 7 days with your name attached to it, Mr. Cyber.
What was the first one,
And so,
Judge?
well, we can address that at another time. But my request is that you keep my name out your mouth.
Judge, I'm entitled to know what the complaints were.
I told you, you can talk to me off the record on it. It has nothing to do with this case that we're
Okay.
on the record on.
Okay.
But what I said is you are to keep my name out of your mouth because apparently you have a problem with speaking the truth as
That's
it
not
relates
true
to
at
my
all,
name.
ma'am. That's not true at all. I would request that you actually know what the conversation was. I can call my wife and have her on the phone. It was a very much.
You
I
can-
had to take
I'll
abuse
allow
from
you to
consent.
call your wife long as you call Ms. Perez as well.
Judge, if you judge with tenants and with the general citizen
I don't need you to explain.
population,
I don't need you to explain anything to me about tenants. If you want to call your wife, that's your prerogative. I'll let you call your wife, and you can call Ms. Perez as well. Otherwise, I don't want to hear anything.
well, I'm not going to drag this on. I didn't say
Thank you.
anything disparaging
Any additional
about the
matters
court.
for the record?
Yes, I did
Any
not say
additional matters for
anything.
the record?
I did not say anything disparaging about the court or you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Any additional matters for the record? Ms. Corcoran.
Thank you, Your Honor. Not for this case, but I will just say, Your Honor, that I've had the opportunity to be in courtrooms for 14 years and that it is disheartening and disappointing that I have seen Mr. Seaver in action many times, and I've never seen him be as disrespectful to Judge DeLuca, Judge Cherry, or any of the other judges I've observed him with in the manner that he has disrespected Your Honor. And not that I'm not taking that on, that's his actions, but I just, because I understand the hardships that you face as the judge, that I apologize that you had to endure these disrespects.
I appreciate that. And I understand and recognize as a Black woman in this position that these are issues that I would likely have to face. It's an unfortunate situation. It doesn't just contain itself to how he's handled himself in his representation of his clients, but there's been times where Mr. Cyber has been on this court and has paused it so he can handle an other matter, which is completely disrespectful. And if anyone has dropped the ball continuously, as evidenced by the record and live via Zoom, it's been Mr. Cyber. And so I should not be getting a phone call from anyone where it's been said to them that the reason why this case resulted in the dismissal that it's resulted in is because of any action taken by the court or inaction taken by the court. So it's very disturbing. I did grant Mr. Cyber a certain amount of grace early on that I can tell you right now, I'll never do again.
Well, I
It'll
can
never
tell you,
happen.
Judge,
It'll never happen again.
I can
I'm not
tell you,
asking you
Judge,
for, I'm not asking you to respond to my statement.
Well, I'm not responding to your statement, but I am telling you if that's how you felt, I personally apologize to you as a person. I will tell you this. I grew up playing college football and football all the way from when I was a little kid. And I don't see people as male or female. I don't see them as white, black, Mexican, Asian, or anything. I see them as you're a judge, you hold a position, we respect you. I hold a position as an attorney. Okay, not a big deal. But I don't see you. You brought up that you see yourself as a black woman. I see you as a judge. That's all I see you as.
I didn't say I see myself as a black woman. I am a black woman.
I see you as a judge.
So you can say the response because I don't buy it.
Okay.
Just so we're clear. I don't care what sport you played.
Well, I apologize to you as a human.
Yeah, and you can apologize as the judge of the court too. As an attorney, you know that there is a decorum that you're supposed to have when you come before the court, and you've failed multiple times to approach this court and address this court that I preside over appropriately in a way that's respectable, in a way that an attorney is supposed to approach themselves. And so I appreciate Ms. Corcoran for addressing the fact that she's seen you in other courtrooms, because I wondered how you acted in other courtrooms. I'm inclined to believe that you wouldn't act this way before Judge Alderson.
Judge, there's major issues when the court is taking JIS information and then it's affecting the lawyers.
The court, meaning the judge, because I didn't take any information out of JIS.
It wasn't the judge, it was the court, the staff that takes in the cases. When they do JIS and for addresses, instead of the address that's on the pleading.
What was your excuse for missing court last week?
There's no excuse. I blew that one. I
Thank you.
I had it
Thank you. There's no excuse, period.
I had
You had notice of
I
the
had
court
it
dates and you
docketed.
failed to appear. And even if the information was taken out of JIS and you disagree with how that information was retrieved by the clerk's office,
I dropped the
the-
ball last week, Judge. I told you I dropped the ball. I had it.
share that with Ms. Perez. Don't share that with the court. The court noted that you dropped the ball. Any additional matters for the record? Thank you. Court.